My 24F boyfriend, 31M, got trashed at a wedding where I was the maid of honor, embarrassed me and himself, proceeded to lie about some things too. About a year and a half ago, my best friend became engaged to her now husband. I was asked to be the maid of honor and was extremely happy to do so. Over the past year, I helped her with whatever needed to be done. Throughout all of this, I talked to my boyfriend about it. He knew how happy I was for her, he knew that I had a big part in the wedding, he knew my parents would be attending the wedding, he knew everything that I knew about the wedding. He knew the day and time, and what would be expected of him and when he needed to show up. Fuyu, I didn't talk his ear off about the wedding. I would only really talk about it if I had gone, for example, dress shopping or something with my friend. However, last week, a couple days before the wedding, he started to act kinda weird about it. He said something along the lines of, "I know you don't want to be involved in the wedding, it will be over soon. And then you can forget all about it and everything will be normal again." I've been nothing but happy and excited for my friend in this wedding. But, he continued to act like I wasn't having fun and tried to convince me that I hated every minute of helping my friend plan her wedding. Last week he continued talking about the wedding like it was something awful and stupid. He treated it as an annoying chore we had to do, he complained about having to go. He even asked me after the rehearsal dinner if he could just not go to the wedding at all. Keep in mind I had already reserved for both of us, my parents were expecting him, he just dropped it on me as we were going to bed before the wedding day. He also never expressed his congratulations towards the bride or groom at any point. The day of the wedding was this past Saturday. I told my boyfriend what time he needed to show up. Lately he has been notoriously late for everything, like several hours late to anything he's invited to. He's always been late, but it's been getting ridiculous. A lot of times he's late because he is hanging out with one of his friends smoking weed and playing video games, and he ends up losing track of time. I didn't want him to be late to my best friend's wedding, so I basically told him he needed to be there 3 hours earlier than what was necessary. I told him he needed to be there at 1 p.m., when in reality he needed to be there before 4:30 p.m. He showed up around 4:30 p.m. He got there right as cocktail hour started and got drunk. I was told by someone else that he was pounding back the beers as soon as the bartender started to serve alcohol. Then he sat with my parents, and told my mom if I didn't come to this thing op would have killed me. Once the bride and groom were announced Mr. and Mrs. X, my boyfriend loudly cheered and loudly clapped as everyone else did a normal clap. It wasn't a very big wedding, so it was weird and awkward when he did this. It stood out a lot and obvious that he was already inebriated. Multiple people looked over at him in a what the F way. I felt awful and embarrassed when this happened. After all the photos were taken, he found me and told me that his work called and that he needed to go in ASAP. Before the wedding he assured me that he had taken the day off and that his work, he's a bartender, knew he would be at a wedding that day. I knew he was lying to me, but I didn't care at that point. He left, Ubered, to supposedly go to work. When I finally got home around 2 a.m. he told me that it turned out that work didn't actually need him and he forgot the name of the venue so he couldn't Uber back to it, and that his phone was acting weird and couldn't get a text message to be sent to me. He told me how he really wanted to come back to the reception but he just couldn't make it happen. Obviously those were all lies. I feel like his behavior was just abhorrent. I'm so pissed off at him right now. I'm looking at him in a new negative light and I can't stop thinking about how awful he was throughout this whole wedding event. I know some people act weird about weddings sometimes, but this takes the effing cake. Is there any coming back from this? I feel like I'm always going to be pissed off about what happened. I don't know if I can forgive him. I've thought about ending it with him because of this. I don't know if I'm overreacting or not. I don't think he has any intentions on apologizing. We haven't talked about the wedding that much since this past Saturday. He doesn't think he's done anything wrong. What do I do? Am I crazy to think his actions are god-awful? Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Girl, he sounds like a toddler. You're a girlfriend, not a mother, why are you putting up with this? OP replies. Honestly, I don't know. We've been together for about 4 years now, and he wasn't always this bad. But, I've noticed his behavior has gone downhill over the past year. He's cut back hours on work and makes just enough money to make ends meet. He just wants to hang out with his friends who don't have jobs. He smokes for free with them. I think this may be the last straw though. I'm going to have to end it with him. It just sucks, because he wasn't always this bad. Commenter 2. Consider that he was always like this, but you're growing up and maturing whereas he hasn't. 4 years puts you guys at 27 and 20. Might be that you just didn't notice BC you had different priorities. OP replies. This is a strong possibility. When we met I was in college, and like a lot of college students I went out partied a lot, I had fun and stayed up super late. But, Now I'm working full-time and going to grad school part-time. I want to be successful in the future. He has basically stayed the same these past 4 years. He always talked about going back to school and finishing his degree or doing something else with his life, he just hasn't done anything with himself. I don't think I really saw that or cared when we met and I was only 20. Commenter 3. How long have you been dating? Have you two discussed marriage? His behavior was horrendous, I don't know if I would forgive it. My guess is that he saw you all happy about the wedding, doesn't want to commit, got scared you would now expect a proposal, and deliberately sabotaged everything because he is a giant, immature douche canoe. OP replies. We've been together for about 4 years. We have talked about marriage, he has brought up in the past and mentioned that it would be great if we got married one day. I've told him I wanted to wait until after I finished grad school and we moved into a house first. However, I am rethinking our entire relationship now. After reading a few responses here, I feel like I probably won't be able to forgive him after this. Commenter 4. What is the benefit of staying with this guy? He sounds awful. I was really surprised to see that he is my age and not also in his early 20s. My boyfriend hates weddings and big parties and a lot of traditions, lol, but he just lets me know. He is gad, so I get it. We have agreements about which ones are mandatory and which he can skip. He doesn't pull weird manipulations like this. I don't think I could be with someone who jerked me around and lied like that. And he is 31 years old. That is too old for this crap. Emo. How do you guys even communicate? Mutual affection and respect? My advice is to cut your losses. It will hurt, but I bet you will feel relieved after a while of not having this anchor around your neck. Find someone worth it. OP replies. This was the first time he pulled this much crap to get out of an obligation. Before now he has been okay going with me to various friend or family events. This also wasn't our first wedding together either, his aunt got remarried last year and he didn't freak out then. In the past he's told me straight up if he didn't want to go to one of my friends' parties or something, and he stayed at home and it was fine. Edit. I did not expect this to blow up like it did. I was wanting to create a throwaway account so my post wouldn't be that noticeable. Oh well, my boyfriend uses Reddit but I don't think he goes to the relationship subreddits at all. Anyway, I've tried most of the comments here and I've been thinking about what you all have said. It's basically confirmed that I need to end things with him. I actually tried to end things with him a couple of hours ago. He doesn't seem to be accepting the breakup. He started to apologize to me about what happened and how he'll try to be better. I'm currently at a friend's house for the night. I brought some things with me that should last a couple of days. But I'm really not sure what else to do. Both of our names are on the lease, and he's still at the apartment for all I know. Thank you for all the help. Reading through the comments basically told me everything I already knew and confirmed for me that I need to dump his arse. I'll try to post an update in a couple of days. As of now he doesn't seem to want to leave the apartment, so we'll see what happens. Update. First, thank you to everyone who commented on my last post. It gave me a lot of think about, and confirmed things for me that I wasn't ready to admit to myself. Second, there were some frequent comments about my ex I wanted to clear up. Some people thought he had anxiety around weddings or people he didn't know. He knew the bride and groom very well, as we used to go out on double dates a lot. He's even spent some one-on-one time with the groom. He knew a lot of other people at the wedding. He only sat with my parents BC my parents didn't really know anyone else besides the bride and couple of my other friends, who were bridesmaids or were part of the wedding in some way. He is a social butterfly and has been to more weddings than me. He's even gone solo to a couple of weddings he was invited to, no +1, for former co-workers while we were together. Many people suggested he had a crush on the bride. I can't confirm this, but I'm leaning towards no. It's possible of course, doesn't matter at this point. All I can really say is they are complete opposites, have very little in common, and he would consider her not his type. This is not an insult to the bride, she is a beautiful person Fuyu, and I am considered his type. Again, he may have had feelings for her, but if he did I never picked up on it. After I initially tried to end it with him, he texted/called/ed me and basically used any means of communication possible to get my attention. He started by apologizing profusely and asking to give him another chance. I didn't respond to all of this, because I didn't know what to say. I turned off my phone before I went to sleep and woke up with a ton of voicemail and messages. He sounded extremely angry in some of them, called me names, told me he hated me, said the classic line of "you'll never do better than me." Some of the last messages he sent were him apologizing for the messages he left throughout the night because he was drunk, and that it didn't count. Whatever. The apartment issue has been a nightmare. It's going to be extremely expensive to get out of the lease and only have his name in it. Apparently they need both of our signatures in order for this to happen, and I'll need to pay a fee. The only communication I've had with my ex is to ask him to sign the new leasing agreement, which he refuses to do. I still had to pay rent for March. The lease isn't up for several more months. I can't afford to pay 2 rents at once. I did manage to get my stuff out. I called up the bar he works for and talked to one of the women there I felt comfortable with. I told her my situation and asked if she could call me the next time he showed up for his shift so I could get my things. I had a bunch of my friends come to the apartment with boxes and plastic tubs and got most of my stuff. Unfortunately my TV, it's huge, sofa and a couple of other larger things couldn't be grabbed. But I got everything important. When he found out I took all of my stuff, the text messages and voicemail began again, where he spewed more vitriol at me and demanding me to come home immediately. The next he started sending me apology messages. And also told me in a message that he's willing to forgive me and move on from this mess. My current challenges are trying to find a place to live for the next few months and what to do about the current lease with both our names. I have friends that understand my situation, and are allowing me to couch surf for a bit. But it's not a permanent solution. I'm still trying to figure out how to get out this lease, but the apartment management has been difficult. I'm not totally convinced that they need both signatures, but that's what they keep stressing. The worst case scenario is that I have to quit my job and live with my parents for a bit. They are an hour away, and drive an hour to class a few times a week until the semester is over. TLDR, we are broken up and I'm feeling great about this decision. Apartment management sucks and I can't get my name of the lease. Some of my stuff is still in the apartment, but I got the important stuff out. Ex keeps messaging me, he's either being a jerk or apologizing. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel Relationship Drama Stories.